Reverse.
Welcome to Blockchain Basement. On today's episode, we've got a lot of really good stuff to get into. The SEC trying to destroy your altcoins and crypto in the United States. What we're doing to fight back, all the things that happened in front of you and all the things that were happening behind the scenes over the weekend. What to expect for this week. Huge week for Bitcoin. All this and more on today's Blockchain Basement.
Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this?
I'm ready. welcome.
If you're gonna screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What do you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're gonna get back below there, but if we do, that's kind of where we.
All right, really happy. Oh, look at that. We got the OG chat on the screen. That's pretty cool. So shout out to anybody that's in the Discord now. I don't know if I can read that pretty good, I guess. If we can make it a little bigger, we'll try to watch both chats. Shout out to all of you guys. We're going to have the Druth, another Blockchain Bunker episode coming. The one and only Taco, a.k.a. Derek, a.k.a. all sorts
Taco
of Taco Smash. That's what I was thinking too, but that's what we call him when we play pickleball. The lovely Ali Lee and the right from, well, he's alive. We'll say that. Biscuit
alive.
Jesus. He's making all of this stuff happen for you guys in the Discord. He's trying. I'm not hiding lunch. Am I hiding? Oh, Taco's hiding lunch. Duck, Taco. There's the chicken salad. Yeah, we're not used to having somebody so tall over there. So, and shout out, of course, to all of you guys. We've got Bruce, Reed, 99, Barry, Danny Carney, Crypto Parks, Crypto Halligan, Cali Crypto Dude. This is the Bitcoin Way, Chemistry Bro, Asmir, Joe, Meta Hirsch, Granny's Garden, Stoked. Man, my eyes. 500 HP Club, Uncle, Tinfoil Hat, Cali Crypto Dude, Casino Doggy, Crypto Stevo, Fill the Gap. Great name, Phil. And many, many more. Enzo Mining, all of you guys, we love you. Shout out to you. What a weekend. I know we were talking a little bit in the Discord. I think it was, I don't know, late one night. It must have been Saturday night, I think, when everything was absolutely dumping. I know some of you guys were picking different things. Let us know in the chat if you picked up anything, if you bought anything over the weekend, you bought any alts. I know some people here did. There were people talking about it in the Discord. What about you guys? Anybody here make any purchases over the weekend? Drew?
The only thing I had the chance or the wonderful ability to purchase was a electronic fence for my dog because he's harassing my neighborhood.
Okay.
So yeah, I had to contain him electronically. Didn't like it at first. I spent most of the weekend just trying to ease him back out into the yard so he wasn't terrified of the outdoors after his experience with it. But yeah, that cost me like $1,000, so that sucked. I went out and ate some dinner, but I didn't feel too bad about not buying anything because I kind of ran away from this mess last week and insulated a Bitcoin for some reason. I don't know why. I did.
Taco, what about you?
I picked up some Cardano, and then this morning, I just picked up some Matic. But I made the mistake of buying it on Coinbase. So like my $500 purchase turned into $485 after it went through.
All the fees and stuff.
Well, I have Coinbase One, and it's still like it says 0 fee, but it took $15 off of it.
Weird.
I should have sent it to the Polygon network and just done the swap on there.
Yeah, we got Enzo Mining said Algo Ada Matic. A lot of people talking about Matic. I see some Near, some AVAX, some Atom, some Algo. I was looking, I didn't scoop any alts. I was very, and shout out. So guys, I've been saying this a lot since the beginning of this year. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I've been really pushing careful with altcoins in this phase of the cycle. Bitcoin and Ethereum is probably where you want to be because exactly what just happened over the weekend is what I've been talking about this whole time. Is Bitcoin goes up, yeah, altcoins go up. But now we get a pullback. Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think they dropped 2 to 5% respectively. But we saw tons of alts. 20, 25%, 27%, 14%, 18%, like just wiped out across the board. A lot of that due to the regulatory actions going on in the United States right now. I don't think overall we have to be worried about a blanket ban for crypto. We're going to talk about that a little bit in a minute. However, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for altcoins, especially the ones that have been around a long time. They're going to continue to get hammered through this bear market, and they may or may not return in the next bull market. That's something I want to stress for you guys as well. I hope I have it in here. I pulled like 1 million links, so I don't know if we're going to get through all of it today. But bottom line, if you go back and look at the top 100 or even top 50 in end of 2017, early 2018, during the last, I guess 2 cycles ago at this point, 2 bull markets ago.
Yeah, where's Verge?
Yeah, there was all kinds of stuff. There was all sorts, Tron, Verge, all sorts of coins that were up in the top 50 that are completely irrelevant now. Nowhere close to their all-time highs, never returning to their all-time highs. And I just want to caution you guys with accumulating and accumulating the alts you've fallen in love with during the last bull market and thinking, oh, every time it goes down, I can get it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And that's true, and you probably will. Like, I did really good. Cardano, for example, I think I want to say it was over $1 during the last thing. It went all the way down to 5 cents. I accumulated a lot of it, went all the way up to $3. That's great. Still think Cardano will go back up again in the next bull market. But the lower down you go, especially in the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, a lot of those won't return to all-time highs, and it will be the new shiny thing. It'll be the ZK Sync or a lot of the other stuff that we're talking about that's coming out in 2019 that gives the huge returns in 2024. I said 2019. It's coming out in 2023 that gives the returns for 24 and 25 in a major way. So for me, I'm still heavy Bitcoin Ethereum. I'm still accumulating Bitcoin Ethereum. I did admit in the, I don't know which chat, I think it was the OG chat on Discord, we were talking about, I was tempted to scoop some Matic and some Mina. They were at really low prices. Mina was right at 40 cents. It's still sitting around there. Matic, let me see. Let's pull up the prices right now. Matic,
I think it's like 64 cents last time I checked.
Did anybody try to buy Cardano on Coinbase this weekend, by the way?
I do know some people who did. Yes.
I could not.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
No issue.
It wouldn't let me do it. So either I'm about to accidentally spend like $3,000 when like the transactions come through, but every time I did it, it just didn't take it.
Weird.
So I don't know.
Yeah, so Polygon, obviously 25%. I mean, if we're looking at these alts here, I mean, you got Sandbox down 28%, Centraland, I mean, a lot of things down plus 20% for the week. Polygon being one of the ones that I do think will do well. Obviously, I like that layer 2 scaling niche on Ethereum for next cycle. Where's Mina was down in here? Mina, yeah, still at 40 cents. That's another one. Zero knowledge being another thing. INJ getting a big pullback. So, if you want to look for them, there's opportunities out there. However, I'm looking to do most of my altcoin accumulating near the time of the halving, and then they blow up after that. You guys can do it however you want. That's just what's worked for me in the past. So right now, real quick, the other thing to note, it's sitting at 19.9 right now on Ethereum. It did tick up over 20% over the weekend, both Bitcoin dominance and Ethereum dominance on the way up. Obviously, a lot of fear around Binance US, and a lot of the altcoins out there based on the litigation action that was coming out. People bailing back into Bitcoin and Ethereum out of their alts. It's a very natural flow. It makes sense. And I wanted to touch on this. Benjamin Cowan tweeted it, and he said a lot of people are acting like the crypto crashing was completely unforeseeable, somewhat of a black swan event. I disagree. It says regulatory risk, lack of liquidity, social metrics going down, etc. have all been things we've been talking about ad nauseum for months. These are not black swans. I agree. This is something we've been talking about on this channel for a long time. We've been watching the liquidity dry up. And then this was another thing. It's not a coincidence that the crypto is dead narrative took hold at the same time BTC dominance broke that range high, 49%. It happened in the last cycle too. People only believe in the altcoin reckoning once they've lived through it themselves. And I feel that way a lot. There's even people here in this building I've had a lot of conversations with where they're like, man, I just don't understand why Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. And I'm just like, look, I've been through it before, and in 2019, when I was trying to accumulate altcoins that I was excited about in 2017 and 2018, they just got crushed time after time after time. Bitcoin would go up, they'd go up a little bit, Bitcoin pulls back a little bit, they go down a lot, and that you just keep repeating that over and over and over, and I think that's going to continue to play out for the rest of this year. A lot of people still think Bitcoin will be around the $30,000 price range at the time of the next halving, so you're really in accumulation mode right now. Unless you're really, or day trading. I mean, if you want to scalp and short and do that sort of stuff, that's great. I'm just more of a long-term accumulation investor and then speculation when it comes time for the halving. If you time it, it's pretty easy in this 4-year cycle. We know, the tightening is going on and all that sort of stuff this year, and we'll look at kind of the U.S. monetary policy aligning with the Bitcoin emission rate or policy, I guess you could say, and election cycles and all that stuff should time up pretty well. So there was a lot going on with the SEC. I do want to update. I'm sure a lot of you guys know how that, this is how it feels to trade crypto right now. You got to keep track of everything. Your head's in a little bit of a vice. You got, FOMC, M1 money supply, M2 money supply, M3, M4. We got the bond yields, the lean hogs, the correlation, earnings, Powell, 10-year treasury, hedge funds, priced in, oil prices, CPI, stagflation, Apple. It's just,
it can get a lot, but I take all that info in. I definitely pay attention to all that stuff, but like the picture says, it gets overwhelming. And I really always kind of back up to the internet usage, internet adoption curve, and then kind of how many people in the world in general are exposed to crypto at this point. Not to mention, there's a lot of things, but I just know that we're kind of at a point, an inflection point of needed change monetarily. And in general, like I just think of this as this crypto and Bitcoin are a new tool that I can bank my buck on or put my name on it, that this is what's going to be used to fix irresponsible monetary policy. So, it can get definitely overwhelming, but I see crypto as a definite way to change it, and I just, on the altcoins, man, I just don't think we're done getting wrecked. I think we're going to get wrecked again.
Yeah, there's always reckoning. There's a lot of good comments here. Joe said, I got tired of watching everything, so I just went all in, so now I can just relax and wait. That's not a bad strategy. Taking action is always good. You learn a lot that way.
Wait, is that what the Bible's talking about when they talk about the reckoning?
Reckoning? I don't think so. I think that might be a different thing.
I went sacrilegious. I'm sorry.
Let's see. Crypto Halligan says, that sounds be your next album cover, Drew.
Dude, I was making some sweet album covers. That should be your next album cover. There you go. I showed my band AI and Midjourney and the image creation because it used to be such a pain in the butt to get a good album cover made. I was like, here's 30 of them that are going to be awesome, and they're all custom made. They lost their minds, so yeah.
Somebody, where did it go? Somebody said Flat Smack said rip X. Oh wait, no, where is it? Somebody said rip US. Where did it go?
Long live Bitcoin.
Yeah, long live Bitcoin. Who said that?
It just disappeared.
Oh, it just disappeared. Yeah, it was flat. All right, rip US, long live Bitcoin. That's kind of how I felt this weekend watching a lot of the stuff rolling out. I know the thumbnail says crypto's dead. That's kind of a little tongue in cheek. We got Mike Novogratz here, head of Galaxy Digital. Before you believe that crypto is dying, look at the facts. This chart does not include Bitcoin. So here, pull me down for a second. Excluding Bitcoin, these are active addresses since 2016, really, a proxy of the number of unique users across various blockchains, just climbing and climbing, approaching 20 million right now. Kind of to your point, Drew, it's growing and it's continuing to grow. We're going to talk a little bit about the SEC stuff. Here's Satoshi's comments. When someone suggested that Bitcoin was a common enterprise, aka security, back in 2010, this was Satoshi's response. He said, Bitcoins have no dividend or potential future dividend, therefore not like a stock, more like a collectible or a commodity. That was Satoshi on the Bitcoin Talk forum back August 27th, 2010. So they've been treating Bitcoin and assuming Bitcoin has been a commodity for quite some time. I did want to share this message from Brian Armstrong. I do feel like it's important. It is very much right now the United States really pushing it, shooting itself in the foot, cutting off its nose to spite its face, or whatever you want to say. Creating an amazing new technology and then pushing it all offshore, I think, is a huge mistake, and that's where we're at right now. So here's this.
Cryptocurrency, regardless of what you think about it, it's not going anywhere. It can't be uninvented. Most of the world is embracing this technology now to update their financial system. And what I fear is that we're going to be sitting here in 5 or 10 years and we're going to come back to crypto and think about it like we did with 5G or semiconductors and say, wow, now it's a matter of national security that we get it brought back onshore. The future of crypto technology should be built in the US.
Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Wait, I did find you said he was an actor.
Dude,
right?
I love this movie.
Yeah, I actually found Brian Armstrong's acting debut in Thumb Wars.
This is like one of my favorite movies right there.
Got him! Yeah.
Seriously, you got to watch that movie. It'll make you happy.
So, Brian Thumbstrong, really important message.
God.
Really important message, not to make light of it for the crypto industry, because it's under attack by U.S. regulators. There's insane stuff happening right now.
Even though they're buying it.
They're going hard on this stuff. So this is an important thing for you guys to remember if you live in the United States. If the U.S. government banned Bitcoin in the entire crypto market tomorrow, literally made it illegal to own them, the markets would tank, but it wouldn't stop crypto. The U.S. is not the world, and ironically, I could see many other countries immediately legalizing crypto if the U.S. did that simply out of spite because they hate the U.S. And that's something that's very important. This is the apoliticalness of Bitcoin is one of its strongest superpowers in a lot of ways because of the way the incentive structure works. Every all countries are incentivized to compete for this. So if one of the powerhouses pulls out, it incentivizes other people to go after it harder, and the harder other people go after it, the more the United States is incentivized to go for it. And it's very interesting.
So one time pulling out is bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's no.
Yeah.
I'll talk about some. Never mind.
Oh no.
It's very interesting. So there's been some. I'd be interested. Isn't Crimson? No, it was Chemistry Bro. I think is in the UK. Big developments in the UK when it comes to strong positive regulation for crypto right now, and it's very interesting. As hard as we're going against it, they're just ushering it in right now. It almost feels like, global powers above United States and UK said, you know what? It might be better if we put the financial power back in the hands of Europe and the UK and people that have been there for a while, instead of letting the United States bully people around anymore. That's just a vibe I got over the weekend, just looking at some of this stuff. I don't know if that's going to be true or not, but just something to keep in mind. I'm going to blaze through a lot of this stuff that talks about kind of what to expect this week, and then come back to what was going on with the SEC, the Department of Justice. We got 2 different cases I touched on. Was I on Wednesday or Thursday last week? Talking about the difference between what they're doing with Coinbase versus what they're doing with CZ and Binance. Very different allegations, very different charges. It is not the same lawsuit, and they have very different, I think, intentions of what they're trying to accomplish with each. So, Crimson Caravan, he's in Texas. Okay, no, it's Chemistry Bro that was in UK, I believe. So, all right, big day for crypto starting on Tuesday, June 13th. The SEC must respond to Coinbase's request for rulemaking. Being a U.S. hearing on TRO at 2 p.m. Internal SEC Hinman docs to be unsealed. This is big. This is regarding the Ripple case.
That's a long time coming.
This has been huge. Yeah, this has been a long time coming, which is ironic that it's all going to be happening this week. Like, this week is going to be a major pivotal week as far as pro or con with crypto in the United States for probably quite some time. We're going to probably see some pretty good volatility, hopefully to the upside. Most of this stuff's leaning bullish for me, but we'll have to wait and see. The FHA subcommittee on digital assets hearing at 2 p.m. Comments closed on the SEC exchange definition proposal. This is big. The U.S. court telling SEC it has to respond to Coinbase's rulemaking petition. So that's basically what the UK just put out, some rule policy to enable things. I mean, I want to say A16Z. I think I've got an article on that. They're moving their headquarters. Was it to UK or was it I think it was to United Kingdom.
What, Coinbase?
No, A16Z, Andreessen Horowitz. Which is basically the big. They are a big owner of Coinbase. They're a big owner of Consensus. They're a big owner of most things throughout crypto. And a lot of those VC firms, and I'm going to touch on that. Apparently, that's the next target.
So they're the BlackRock of crypto.
Yes, 100%. So here's Fabian breaking it down. This more on the macro side of things, not as much on the regulation side. We've got the TGA refill is underway. Keep an eye on the almost $300 billion in Treasury issuance that gets absorbed, and how much the reverse repo draws down. So I think that's happening today. Headline CPI is forecast to come in at cool 0.2% month over month, while core remains sticky at 0.4%. The breakdown will be important. Last month, the Fed's most referenced inflation metric was core services excluding shelter. It came in cooler than expected, and rent of shelter itself showed signs of weakening. Let's hope for a continuation of that trend. This is big. A pause is expected at FOMC, 75% market implied odds. So basically, so we're expecting a rate pause at this point. So if one doesn't come, obviously that would wreck the markets. But the markets are starting to prepare and price in a rate pause, at least one, for this next month, which will be coming up. The biggest takeaway will come from their updated summary of economic projections and any forward guidance it leads to. This will include their latest forecast on GDP, unemployment, inflation, the Fed fund rates for the end of the year and beyond. The European Central Bank and Bank of Japan will also be announcing interest rate decisions on Thursday. This is big, again, globally. Yeah. So all of this is happening all this week. So you're going to see a big shift in a lot of liquidity, a lot of financial projects this week. Finally, on Friday, we have U.S. options expiry and Fed speak that could cause some volatility, as well as the final Eurozone CPI numbers for May. And so here's basically all this tweeted in a calendar. So I'll just retweet this so you guys can have it. So that's what to keep an eye on this week.
It's a lot coming.
Yeah, I think I might just skip this article.
Quick question. TJ's Alpha is a thing in Discord, right?
It is, yeah.
So if somebody's in OG chat, I just need to give them access.
They should already have access.
Okay. Well, Manawak and Shane are asking about it.
Try to get him access. They should.
Manawak is a mod. He should have access to everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, so guys, just so you know, I drop all the links that I cover on this show in that TJ's Alpha channel. So you would have been seeing kind of all weekend. I'm pulling these links and pulling it from different places, and you kind of see them as they go in. This is something.
Wait.
Go ahead.
The chat wants to know what's the heavy breathing.
It's taco. It's always taco.
I moved my microwave.
It's always taco.
Okay.
That's so
Just let me know if it's me.
He's a big
I
guy.
can't tell.
I can barely hear myself breathe. I guess this thing is strong.
Do you have? So I saw it mentioned in the chat. Taco just showed me this U.S. congressman just filed a legislation to fire Gary Gensler.
Yes, I did see that. Was it what was it? Was it Sherman? No, not Sherman.
Let's see here.
It was someone we were talking about stream.
Yeah, I saw it over the weekend.
That'd make me happy. This is from WearWire though, and I called them Neanderthals this weekend. So,
But it wasn't Tom. It wasn't Tom. I don't think it was Tom Emmer, but it
No,
was another person. Somebody else. So, all right, let's read. See, Davis says, I thought Hex was a security. Why is Hex not on the list? And also, why isn't Pulse Chain and Pulse X on the SEC hit list? Must mean Richard Hart was right again.
Or it's irrelevant.
Yeah, I did see somebody else talking about them not going after that. It's probably, look, a lot of this is politics and money. How easily they can collect on some of these things, and they're going to probably hit the low-hanging fruit first.
Yeah.
So there's that. All right.
Wasn't it set up as like a charity from the get-go or something? Like
what's that?
Hex or
who knows?
Yeah.
Everything Richard Hart's ever done has been designed to avoid legal prosecution.
Basically.
So real quick, this just happened a little bit earlier. Binance added George Canellos, former head of the Major Crimes Unit, SNDY, Department of Justice, and former head of the SEC's New York office and SEC Enforcement Division co-director. Binance clearly preparing for regulatory nuclear war. So I think Binance definitely lawyering up. They're going to fight this tooth and nail. And there's some really interesting stuff. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Who can pull this down for a second while I look for what I'm talking about?
I think we solved it. You got some safety.
Real quick, I saw someone mention before the stream started about revoke.cash. If you want to remove access to different websites that you are giving access to your funds, you just go to revoke.cash. You connect your wallet, and then you can see everything that you have approved in your illustrious Bitcoin career. It's going to cost Ethereum in order to revoke it. One's like Uniswap, one's like exchanges. I don't think you have to worry too much about. It's like the weird projects that you maybe got into, like an NFT project a while back, and maybe they're dead. You want to make sure that they don't have weird contracts that they can edit and then steal your funds. So that's it. Revoke.cash.
There you go.
I was going to say, can I read this question from Satoshi Glockamoto?
Yes. I was going to read it anyway.
Basement, TJ, and everyone, how do you feel about what's happening now with the government and crypto? Just FUD. I heard Crypto Zombie saying he was actually scared this time. It's different this time.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I do feel like it's FUD. I do think these legal battles need to get worked out, but I think it's going to land in favor of crypto. I did talk to Zombie when we were in Miami. We were chatting about it, and he does. Obviously, he's New York State, so they're going to be under the most stringent.
You got more to worry about than crypto if you're living in New York State.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that much.
New York State is going to be about as difficult on you as possible when it comes to anything crypto related. We've seen that already in the past. Even just like even when you're paying yourself, they have a lot of questions about how you're paying yourself. Just little stuff like that. So he's definitely closer to the regulatory pressure, I would say. Mm-hmm. But I'm not worried about it. I think it's going to happen. I think while these lawsuits are going on, there's going to be a lot of fear and uncertainty, and that might be some of your best time for accumulation. But I do think we will go through these legal proceedings, and money, greed, is a strong enough incentive to keep crypto here in the United States. They do not want to push all of this business and industry out, and the industry is making a concerted effort, which I'm about to show here, it's basically becoming Gary versus crypto, and Gary's losing. Most people at this point are not Gary Gensler fans, and they see business leaving the United States, and they know we need to keep this industry here. So I think it will end up it will end up better for crypto than it does for Gary Gensler, in my opinion.
Isn't that what FUD's supposed to do, though? It's
Yeah,
supposed
fear,
to make
uncertainty,
you
and
fear.
doubt.
And if you say it, you see hundreds of headlines about, oh my gosh, it's done for here in America and all that stuff. You know, that intrinsically makes you afraid. And they are pushing us out. They're not pushing themselves out.
No.
They're pushing us out.
Yes.
So that we're not involved when it happens. And, you know, to the strong, you know, you got this. And if you're weak, you will be shaken off the boat because this is not a time for paper hands.
That is true. What up, RS Crypto? So update, Gensler isn't finished, and this plays into what I was talking about with A16Z and Andreessen Horowitz and some of those. Gary Gensler isn't finished. Multiple sources claiming that his next targets are low/mid-level crypto VCs. VC chatter is focused around the fact that Gary Gensler is currently unpredictable and can't be controlled. There are easy, no downside targets for someone with continued political aspirations. So it's just rumors. It's unconfirmed right now. Crypto.com shutting down their institutional business in the United States, pulling out. That's a big brand that was spending a lot of money in the U.S. that's pulling out. This is CZ tweeting this article. This is from Fortune.com. Gensler can destroy U.S. crypto industry, but he can't kill crypto. So this is showing that, you know, the thing is the tides are turning against Gary Gensler in a major way. Oh, real quick. Hold on, let me look at this. Pull the screen down.
Yeah.
I forgot. I never talked about the likes. We need some likes. We have 470 people in here right now. Only 100 likes. We know, you guys know, the goal is 420 likes every stream. If everybody stops what they're doing, hit that like button right now. We can get those 420 likes. So I would appreciate it if you guys could do that. So all right, now this is a little bit of a long read, but it's pretty important. I think this is going to be a very strong legal defense for both, definitely for Coinbase and potentially for Binance as well. I don't know let me ask any of you guys, how well do you understand how the SEC works? Like how they actually do what they do?
How they do what they do?
Yeah.
They win money in lawsuits, and they made like $14 billion last.
But like I didn't know anything about how it was actually organized, and like they've got an enforcement division, they've got different divisions that aren't supposed to talk.
Yeah, they have like 70 different offices across the country, and
I'm going to read through this. This guy, it was written by an attorney that kind of breaks it down, and this is something that they just more or less admitted to, and it's insanely bad, and the way that they would be able to continue operating just shows complete mismanagement under his thing. So here, it's long. I'm just warning you, but it's good. So wow, the SEC, and this is from xlawyer.eth/tez, or on the actual ad is xlawyer NFT. It's pretty good stuff. So while the SEC government and under Gary Gensler has had over 25 instances in which agency staff responsible for bringing and prosecuting enforcement actions had access to the documents created by the staff responsible for advising the commission on how to rule on those enforcement actions. So it's going to be a little heady, and just stay with me for a minute. This is a huge deal and means that the enforcement staff could access information regarding how the commission might rule, which was not available to the respondents to those enforcement actions, meaning that the agency could have had an unfair advantage in those actions. Let me explain how the SEC works. The SEC creates security rules, then part of the agency enforces those rules by bringing enforcement actions, and another part of the agency actually acts as the tribunal to consider the rule on those enforcement actions, basically the jury. Put in another way, the SEC writes the rules, then enforces the rules through legal proceedings, and acts as judge and jury when it enforces those rules. So it writes them, brings the enforcement actions, and then acts as judge and jury in those actions. In order to make this process fair, the SEC is divided into groups that aren't supposed to share information between each other. In case of enforcement actions, the SEC's Division of Enforcement is responsible for investigating and prosecuting enforcement actions, and the SEC's Office of General Counsel, I hate this word, Adjudication, thank you. I can never say it right. I'll probably struggle with it again. Adjudication group is responsible for advertising the commission on how to rule. In a statement issued by the SEC in June of 2022, which is basically a couple days ago, a year ago, the SEC admitted the commission has determined that for a period of time, certain databases maintained by the commission's office of the secretary were not configured to restrict access by enforcement personnel. Two memoranda drafted by adjudication staff as a result, in a number of adjudication matters, administrative support personnel from enforcement who were responsible for maintaining enforcement casement files access adjudication memoranda. So basically, the people that are in charge of prosecuting are getting the data and the information of the people who basically like getting to see the judge's thoughts, you know, when they're arguing these cases. Via the offer of the Secretary's database, these individuals then emailed adjudication memorandum to other administrative staff who in many cases uploaded the files to the enforcement databases. To paint an analogy to a criminal court, this would be like the district attorney who was prosecuting a criminal case gaining access to the court's internal records, notes, and research, i.e. the judge's documents and writings, the law clerk's documents and writings, while the case was still pending and before the judge ruled, and having an unfair advantage by knowing what the court was thinking about the case before it ruled. Beyond the fact that it happened in the first place, is the fact that this is a pattern of abuse carried across multiple cases, and the SEC admitted in a statement from June 2nd, 2023, this improper access happened at least in 28 cases. Further, we don't even know if these numbers are accurate, as it was the SEC itself, the agency in which the wrongdoing occurred, that conducted the investigation. So really, really, really bad stuff happening. Oh, we're going to investigate ourselves. Oh, yep, it was really bad. And then while the SEC hired an outside consultant to assist with its investigation, Berkeley Research Group, the consultant regularly acts as an expert witness in securities fraud cases and provides services to public companies to help those companies with SEC filings. In other words, the consultant the SEC hired regularly works before the SEC. The SEC statement from June of 2023 states that the SEC found no evidence that the staff responsible for actually prosecuting enforcement actions accessed or relied on the leaked adjudicatory information, but again, it was the SEC itself that conducted the investigation. The SEC statements attempt to paint Gary Gensler in a positive light by stating that he immediately began an investigation when he learned of the issue. The fact is, this should never have happened in the first place. The appearance of impropriety is just as damaging as impropriety itself. Further, Gary's corrective action was to have the wolves guard the proverbial henhouse by causing the investigation of the SEC's wrongdoing to be conducted by the SEC itself. The SEC's failure in properly siloing you've misspelled that one. Adjudicatory information to prevent access of enforcement staff caused the SEC to dismiss 42 pending administrative cases, which that got me really intrigued. I wonder which 42 cases just got dismissed because of this thing that happened, and if it was really good timing. So the SEC was served with Freedom of Information requests from the New Civil Liberties Alliance, a pro bono law firm that specializes in pushing back against administrative overreach. In typical SEC fashion, the SEC refused to comply with the request. You guys, if you want to support it, I think you should. We should be able to hold them accountable, but they just don't do it. So that was very interesting to me to kind of learn. And that might have been a lot of reading. Sorry if you guys didn't enjoy that. I thought it was really interesting.
All I care about is the heavy breathing.
Yeah, they're all upset.
I know who the heavy breather is now.
Is it me? It could be me.
It's not you.
Who is it? Is it me?
How is
not
it?
you.
If it's me, like my mic is all the way over here. How is it possible?
Well, it stopped.
In my defense, my lungs are compressed to half capacity. So.
All right. So I hope, like I said, hopefully that's interesting to you guys. I didn't realize the different enforcement divisions and, rulemaking divisions, but it is interesting, that they're supposed to be all separate. They're not all, really that system was doomed to fail from the start. Why would you create one system that makes the rules, enforces the rules, and judges on them all, that's designed to kind of have corruption going on?
All I know is when I stole a cookie from the cookie jar, I was not brought in as the expert witness ever.
Mm-hmm.
So... Not
There
sure
you
why
go.
that's the way with the SEC.
It really doesn't make any sense. Thoughts on Tangem Wallet? I've never used Tangem Wallet. Joe, Ryan, sorry, I don't have any thoughts on it. Dustin says Biscuit Jesus is the breathing culprit. So
I'm not.
They say it's Gary's breathing.
It is.
Yeah, that makes
They
sense.
figured it out.
I think it's Gary.
It's
All right.
definitely Gary.
So this is. I'm going to keep rolling through this stuff because this is just interesting things I found over the weekend. The CFTC, this is a little scary, just won a court case against a DAO, and as members, some of the founders are now on the hook for $643,542 of the DAO's websites and ops have been down and shut down. Let's go into what this means for DAOs going forward. So this is the CFTC winning a case against a DAO.
This is a game changer.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
And that's going to change the way DAOs work a lot if everybody that's a member of it's being held liable.
Yeah.
This is the first one.
It's the first one I'm aware of.
It's going to set precedents.
Yep.
Precedents, yeah. Oop, can't spell interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, they're going after. I mean, I was thinking this when DAOs first came out. I was like, yeah, they're putting these autonomous organizations together, so there's no real singular point to blame it on. But apparently, they're able to go after the whole enchilada. I haven't learned much about this story. I just saw the headline.
The idea behind a DAO is great, but when like the top 10 holders hold over 50% of the supply, it's kind of getting a little centralized there.
Yeah.
Well, isn't that what happened with A16Z or whatever it is?
A16Z,
there was a vote and they owned everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not everything, but
Arbitrum?
He's talking about I think it was an Arbitrum vote, and they owned most of the tokens. They exercised it in their government. That was more. I don't know if it was a DAO as much as it was just a governance vote within Arbitrum, but. To Taco's point, I think DAOs in theory are great, but in practice, they leave a lot to be desired. There's a handful. I think Shapeshift is actually one of the more interesting DAOs to keep an eye on and watch as far as the way it functions and operates. It delivers a product, but doesn't have any central points of attack vectors. Most of the actual things claiming to be a DAO are really just a joint investing Discord group, or something like that, which is really what they're going to be going after. So, what?
Jesus.
Crypto Halligan said, the heavy breathing is my portfolio. It's winded.
Oh my God.
No, the heavy breathing is Morse code, and you guys are missing the hint. Okay?
There's hints all around us, always. Okay, yeah, here's what I was talking about. This is what's coming out of the UK. So this is I think this is chief legal, at Coinbase. So meanwhile, here in the States, I guess we are to settle for the Bring Back Crypto Act of 2050. So this is a statement from the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak on A16Z's expansion to the UK. So this is the way the UK is treating crypto and crypto businesses. As we cement the UK's place as a science and tech superpower, we must embrace new innovations like Web3, powered by blockchain technology, which will enable startups to flourish here and grow the economy. That success is founded on having the right regulation and guardrails in place to protect the consumers and foster innovation. While there's still work to do, I'm determined to unlock opportunities for the technology and turn UK into the world's Web3 center. That's why I'm thrilled the world-leading investor Andreessen Horowitz has decided to open their first international office in the UK, which is a testament to our world-class universities and talent, our strong competitive business environment. So UK, very positive. Meanwhile, United States just trying to absolutely destroy things. So
we seem kind of self-destructive at this point.
Yes, very self-destructive.
It feels that way. It's unfortunate, but Sunak's wife is in connection with the CBDC program out there in the UK. So, yeah, I think that'll probably be.
Is that the guy who looks like Jim from The Office?
It is.
Yeah, he's super pro CBDC.
Yeah,
which is not.
Everyone didn't understand why I said that when he first got elected, and now you will see in 2 or 3 years. You will see.
You will see.
BDC.
Got him. I hate myself.
I know you should.
Okay, we're gonna shift gears a little bit and talk inflation. Did you guys ever did you cover any of that commercial real estate stuff that I had, or did we just delete it? It doesn't matter if you did.
I know we touched on it a few times last week, but yeah.
I'm gonna circle back on this. So we got American pool guy with fiat losing value fast and already having a thick crypto portfolio. Is it valuable to have a good chunk of wealth in an anchor asset like gold? Sure. I don't know how old you are, or what your kind of timeline and stuff of that is. Sure. I don't think that's a bad strategy. When I think of an anchor asset, I like to think of something that, like for me at this point, especially with what we're going through with inflation, I want something that produces cash, a cash flowing asset. So, like, yeah, sure, gold is a good, safe asset, but at some point, you're just trying to sell it at a higher value. It's not actually bringing any dividends or bringing anything in. So,
some magic cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of not kidding.
Yeah, no, I mean, actually, these guys, I keep forgetting. The Crow's Nest guys reached out, actually, and wanted to talk about us helping them with their YouTube channel. The guy, that little.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was really random. Like, right after we talked about it, they sent us a message on Instagram, and I told them I'd call them, and I forgot. Side note, sorry guys. So I like cash flowing things. So I've been really it depends on how much you're working with, but if you can find like a car wash, like a quarter car wash that's like you have no maintenance and it just gives you money and you just sit some money there. So like if you're stacked on crypto, maybe you've got some decent real estate, start looking for, I would say, what are they call them? Really boring, low tech cash flow businesses. And I actually, if you're in the Discord, I think I dropped one. It was actually about one of the first African American billionaires back in the 80s, and what he built his entire kind of empire through boring businesses. The first one was like a textile sewing pattern company, and he took it basically, and just through smart business management was able to find businesses that were cash flowing, help them cash flow more, reinvest the money, and grow them. So for me, I'd rather have an anchor asset that's like a couple rental houses, or a small paid off cash business, a booting company. I used to know a guy that ran parking meters, parking garages, some of those kind of things. Really simple businesses, don't take a lot of time, mailbox money somewhat, but they're just always going to go. And guess what? Back in the day, probably used to cost $75 when you had a boot on your car. Now it probably costs $200. I don't know. I haven't been booted in a long time, but 10 years from now, it'll probably be $300. So you find things that scale up with the inflation, and you just keep pulling that cash in. Doesn't matter if you're inflated kind of out of what was that business before. I hope that makes sense.
Well, I had a buddy in the housing crisis. He bought a tow truck.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and he killed it with repos. You know what I mean? And then when I got pushed out of headhunting and HR over the jabby jab, I bought a bunch of chainsaws and fencing material and a trailer and stuff like that, and just had a cash flow business that way. That basically saved me through the panty after my career went into dust. I had to pick up the chainsaw again and get after it, and that worked great.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're going to talk a little real estate, because I'm feeling pretty negative about commercial real estate in general. You guys know, I think Canada is the test net for the United States. A lot of bad stuff has happened with the Canadian real estate in the past 3 years. What you got?
It's not me. There's no way.
Yeah, it's not.
It's Gary Gensler. My mic's all the way over here.
Yeah, it's literally... Wow.
It's me, guys. I'm taking
I don't
the heat.
breathe, so.
So this is
Here, I'm going to mute Taco's microphone completely.
No, I don't think it's
My mic is all the way over here.
I think, what if
can't
it's
hear
the
you.
AC?
Guys,
What if
it's the AC.
AC?
It's the AC.
Oh, yeah.
It's just picking up the AC.
Anyway, keep going. Taco's mic is off.
Okay. So here we go. Growth in real home prices, real disposable income, and population. If you look, here's the pull my picture down just for a second.
Okay.
So I want you guys to see the correlation.
I know a guy. Give me a second.
Here's the United States, what we've been going through here. Home prices obviously going up and down versus the income. So we got income dramatically dropping here starting 2020, and prices going up dramatically starting 2020. We look at Canada, kind of similar. Oh, we got some ebbs and some flows, and then all of a sudden, when the income started going down and we just got absolute runaway in home prices. It's insanely ridiculous to live in Canada now, as far as like you can't own a home.
Sorry.
No, you guys. That's
Crimson
okay.
Caravan.
And I fear we're about to experience it. We're right at this inflection point here in the United States where we're about to just see it absolutely run away. And this is part of the "you will own nothing and be happy" policy. Now this is home prices. We're talking residential here. So this is scary for the individual that doesn't already own their home. Now, commercial real estate, I don't know if they went through any of the facts that I had up before, but is in really serious trouble. Goldman Sachs commercial real estate loans are in trouble. Delinquency surging in the first quarter. The value of Goldman loans to commercial real estate borrowers behind on repayments climbed 612% in the first quarter to $840 million. So $840 million worth of people behind on their payments. The FT said, citing filings that compares with a 30% increase to more than $12 billion for the entire U.S. banking industry, the newspaper said. So we've got, and I'm seeing this all over. Banks are rushing to reduce their exposure to commercial real estate. PacWest sold $2.6 billion construction loan portfolio at a loss. HSBC is looking to sell hundreds of millions in commercial real estate loans. Commercial real estate is the next shoe to drop. Some U.S. banks preparing to sell off property loans at a discount, even when borrowers are up to date on repayments. meaning like that, they're selling these things at a loss, even though they're good loans, because they're expecting a lot of people to start defaulting very soon, and they don't want to be the bag holders. A sign of the determination to reduce exposure to the teetering commercial real estate market. The willingness of some lenders to take losses on so-called performing real estate loans follows multiple warnings that the asset class is the quote-unquote next shoe to drop after the recent turmoil in the U.S. regional banking industry. And so this is another thing. I'm very interested to see what 2024 looks like, because we know the state of the U.S. economy specifically is we'll call it very fragile, I'll say. We know they're about to do a lot of new money creation, inject liquidity in the economy to keep it going. However, we've got a lot of other things on the verge of breaking. If we have things break and money printing at the same time, I'll be really interested to see what that does to asset. Or do we get asset prices that absolutely explode and just run away while other ones get destroyed? Do we get labor and commodity and material prices dropping while asset prices are rising? That would be something interesting. And I could see that happening. If we were getting a lot of liquidity into the market, we could see crypto and the stock market doing well, while commercial real estate, the unemployment market, we could be in a recession with assets going up. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't, that's just kind of.
Is that the first time that's happened?
I have no idea. I don't have enough history. I'm sure it's happened before. But I haven't done enough research or history to know when and where and in what time period or whatever. But I'm feeling like it might be very interesting to where if you're holding good assets and crypto, that's part of what makes that divide happen really, really big. I'm probably like in Great Depression times, where you got the extremely wealthy that are getting wealthier and wealthier and wealthier because their assets are up and they've got cash coming in and they're just buying up everything, and the extremely poor who they're just trying to survive. And that's what I'm worried we're heading towards a scenario like that. Obviously, all of you guys, if you're stacking assets, you're going to be in that asset camp. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
I kind of feel like it's going to be like that, though.
That's what it feels like.
If you own a house right now and you own crypto, I think that you're going to be in a much, much different position in society 5 years from now than if you don't. I know a lot of people are like waiting for. I don't feel like real estate's going to crash by 50 or 75%.
Nope, never has.
But
keep that in perspective.
We might see car prices come back down. We have a lot of over inventory and car inventories for auctions and kind of that game of hot potato that car dealerships have been playing. So, I definitely think that we could see some pockets of good buys with vehicles, other tangible goods, but real estate is basically where I personally would hedge everything that I have into after I'm done with crypto, basically. So that's kind of what I feel.
Did you say cars? You mentioned cars?
I think vehicles I think we're gonna have a little dip in car prices.
Well, guess what? The average new car. Wait, before I show this, guess. What do you think average new car costs, Taco?
$48K.
You saw it already.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Taco already saw it. I should have asked him last. Okay, so the average new car costs $48,000. Average interest rate for a person with good credit, 6.4% for a 5-year loan. That's a $936 monthly payment before insurance and maintenance. So you got to be talking at least another few $100s for insurance and maintenance. So over $1,000 for your average. This is an average new car. And it's just that this level of inflation is what's making, living just kind of a normal lifestyle almost unattainable for a lot of other people. Yeah. We also had the inflation affecting the summer barbecue plans. Now $93.54 at Kirkland. For reference, these were $58 last summer, so almost a $40 increase on some meat here.
Is that real?
I feel this shit so much, man. I have to feed like a whole school full of children.
Yeah.
Well, that was your choice.
It was, but I did it, and I created it all when the world hadn't gone mad.
Yeah.
Basically, I did my budget last night for food. I spend $1,700 a month on food. So and
that's trying to be efficient too.
Yeah, and that's buying in bulk and cooking a lot of stuff at home. But the kids just constantly eat. Got to keep them fed. So.
Yeah. Hey, you want them to grow strong.
We're being rude about giving me the damn eggs. They were refusing to move. I was having to get her off of the egg pile with a stick last night. It was ridiculous.
Can
but
you blame them?
We're back in business.
Bailey Miller, TJ, I want to buy a house by 2025. I'll be 26 years old. Have been DCA into crypto since 21. I'm pretty much relying on crypto. I think that's a great strategy. I think you'll be in good shape to do that. I would take a lot of profits. By 2025, you'll be, and buying it 26, you're in great shape. So keep DCAing, especially right now into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Load up on alts you're excited about within about 2 months of the halving on either side, I'd say. And you probably be able to buy a house cash before you're 30, and that would be very successful, I would say. Well above the norm, well above the average. Is it my imagination or is Allison glowing today? No, it's not your imagination. She is absolutely glowing. She's been hearing that a lot lately. So.
But isn't that Allie? Allison's upstairs.
Just turn my mic off.
It's not you.
Is my mic on?
No.
Yes, your mic is on.
Okay.
I think we found the heavy breather.
Well,
It was you.
It was.
No, it was me. I'll take it, guys. It was me.
Okay.
Actually, I think it was TJ.
Yeah, I'm
That
sure it
doesn't
was.
make any sense.
That's what I'm, yeah, it does. I breathe. I have a stuffy nose right now, guys.
You move quickly too.
Taco's usually the culprit.
I've been working on it recently.
Good job.
yeah.
Guys.
Doing your nose kegels.
Wow.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right, real quick. Market makers stop providing liquidity for all altcoins on Binance. This is in advance of the SEC's TRO hearing on Tuesday that's coming tomorrow, where it could freeze Binance US assets. I don't know if this was all market makers, but definitely some market makers experienced that pressure. If you guys wondered why everything felt like it happened all at once, all of these kind of actions and things were going on all around the same time over the weekend, and this was kind of the death blow. I mean, you can see, watch this.
Oh wait, you want sound?
No, you don't need sound.
They're all counting down.
They count it down, yeah, and then watch these candles that just show up.
And red candles for them are green candles because they're shorting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're shorting. Yeah.
It's like NASA control room.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Easiest money they ever made.
Yeah, absolutely.
So here you go. The U.S. government's crypto policy is going to lose U.S. revenue. All economic growth goes overseas. It decimates investors, write-off losses, costing the IRS receipts. That's what happens when President Warren runs your innovation economy into the ground. And I think this sentiment coming loud and clear from a lot of prominent people. Yes, Michael, that is my wife. Is going to get the attention, hopefully get the attention of Congress and a lot of the other regulators, because it's happening over and over and over. Good morning, everyone. S&P 500 just went into a new bull market. It's up 20% from the October 12th, 2022 low. Finally, some good news. So we're seeing stock markets kind of flip bullish.
Crypto savvy, where you at?
Yeah.
I mean, he was so sure of this. I've seen so many macro pundits be sure we're heading back into a Great Depression, and it's here we are continuing to cook the numbers up and hoist these elephants in the room down the road. It's going to continue, so don't be surprised.
Pull the screen out real quick. I just want to look at a couple things. BJ, I think that's pretty much all we have time for today. I got a lot of other good stuff, but it's kind of none of it really ties into what we've been talking about today. So I've got some. Oh, here we go. This is just we'll wrap it up with this towards the end. But did you guys know this is a genius tactic? I don't know if you guys knew this, but in order to play the role of insane and mentally depressed person in the movie Joker, Joaquin Phoenix followed Jim Cramer's investment advice for 2 months straight until he lost all of his money. I'm just kidding. Obviously, that's a joke.
Man.
I don't think that's true, but God, I wish.
No,
it was.
it's not true at all.
I
Obviously,
think Kramer just endorsed Apple VR. So
He did.
get out.
He
Watch
did.
out.
Short it.
I saw that.
enjoy.
Yeah, I got some black
And
stuff.
Solano and Cardano, they're done for.
Oh God, one of those things you just showed was very scary, TJ.
Which
The one that's
this?
yeah.
Yeah, there's some. I'll save it for tomorrow. There's a couple things on
Oh,
this
I have
subject.
a lot of comments about that.
We're
Yes.
gonna go off.
And I have
Yeah.
warned people about that one.
Ironically, I had a call with the founder of Ancestry.com like 2 weeks ago. Really, it was like totally unrelated. He's got a new startup coming up in the AI space, but we'll come back to some DNA stuff next time. As always, that's all we have time for today. We love all of you guys. We'll be hanging around in the Discord. I was chatting. I'll be in there chatting with some more of you guys. Yeah, follow Selkiss on Twitter. He's a smart dude, 2-bit idiot like that guy, Ryan Selkiss. Crypto Stevo, Mr. Techno Goody, Robert Young, Joe Jones, Michael Allen, Fluffy the Sheep, RS Crypto, Robert Vermouth, Bailey Miller, Chemistry Bro, Michael Allen, Deadwood, Michael Allen, Uncle Tinfoil Hat. Red
You
Rumbles
practice this.
and many more. We love all of you guys. We will see you next time. Crypto Reaper getting in there at the last second. Stay golden. Crypto Halligan, Mr. Techno Goody, Joe. Can't forget Joe. We love all of you guys. Have a really blessed week. Stack those Bitcoins. Stack some Ethereum. Don't go too hard on your alts. I don't want you to get wrecked.
Shout out to the OG chat.
OG chat is where it's at. See you in there.
Okay, bye.